It looks like the Trump administration isn't exactly getting the hero's welcome they were hoping for in Greenland. Among other U.S. officials, Vance, J.D. Vance's wife, joined the delegation for what was being billed as a cultural visit, which I suppose is what the British told the Native Americans when they first arrived in America. No worries, guys, we're just here to appreciate your culture, definitely not to eliminate it. Well, that went over about as well as you'd imagine. According to one Danish broadcaster from TV2, representatives from the US have been going door to door in Nuuk over the past few days to find Greenlanders who wanted to be visited by Vance. After they failed to find anyone, the visit was canceled. In fact, far from getting a warm welcome, this was the reality on the ground. And if you take a look right here, you can see a sign reading "Yankee Go Home," which, growing up, I only thought I'd ever see in Boston. But apparently, Trump has managed to make America hated in even one of the most peaceful places on Earth. Here's one Danish broadcaster himself explaining the situation. This was dubbed from Danish into English.
It is an expression of the fact that the Americans finally realized what the reality was, namely that if they had come here to Nuuk as planned tomorrow, they would have been met with riots, demonstrations, and a massive police presence simply to ensure their own safety. They realized that they were not wanted here. American representatives have been going around practically knocking on one door after another in the past few days to ask if they would like to be visited by the vice president's wife. And everywhere the answer was the same: no. Otherwise, thank you. And that's why the plans have been changed.
And so now, rather than settling in for her little conqueror's visit, the vehicles that had been transported to the city were instead sent back onto military aircrafts, as evidenced by the photos that you can see right here on the screen. And all of this stands in stark contrast to this bullshit that was being spouted by Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville, whose mouth seems to be surgically attached to Donald Trump's ass.
Oh, it's on the radar screen. President Trump is two things: Panama Canal and Greenland. Panama Canal is working out exactly the way he wanted it to. You know, BlackRock bought both of the ports down there. The same thing with Greenland. It's all about national security, but it's as much about for the people of Greenland as anything. And if you just listen to them talk when they interview them on some of the interviews over the last month, they're all in on it. Now it's just we're going to have problems with the other group across the water. But I think President Trump's exactly right here. We don't keep going there for our health. I'll tell you, you don't go up there for your health. You go there to make something happen. President Trump's right on line with this. And again, he'll make it happen. He's a deal maker.
Sure, Tommy. They're all in on it. Just like my dog is all in on the vet, and I'm all in on Donald Trump. Got it. Both Greenland's outgoing and incoming leaders have slammed the visit, calling it highly aggressive and a provocation. Quote, "Until recently, we could trust the Americans who were our allies and friends and with whom we enjoyed working closely, but that time is over." In fact, that sounds awfully similar to the exact verbiage that Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, offered up today in light of the US's provocations against that ally.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperation, is over. What exactly the United States does next is unclear. But what is clear is that we, as Canadians, have agency. We have power. We are masters in our own home. Nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We can control our destiny. We can give ourselves much more than any foreign government, including the United States, can ever take away. We can deal with this crisis best by building our strength right here at home. It will take hard work. It will take steady and focused determination from governments, from businesses, from labor, from Canadians. We will need to dramatically reduce our reliance on the United States. We will need to pivot our trade relationships elsewhere. And we will need to do things previously thought impossible at speeds we haven't seen in generations.
Starting to see a trend? In addition to crashing the stock market, launching a trade war that we won't win, sending costs surging, sending 401ks plummeting, the Trump administration has also managed to destroy our relationships with our closest allies and trading partners around the world. And yet still, despite all of that, this is the kind of rhetoric being spouted by Trump just prior to the Vance family being summarily rejected by the people of Greenland.
Just how far are you prepared to go on Greenland? You said this morning that the United States needs Greenland.
We need Greenland for national security and international security. So I think we'll go as far as we have to go. We need Greenland. And the world needs us to have Greenland, including Denmark. Denmark has to have us have Greenland. And we'll see what happens, but if we don't have Greenland, we can't have great international security. If you look at the ships outside of Greenland, China, Russia, places that we have to be there. If we're not there, we can't have national or international security. So I view it from a security standpoint, we have to be there.
What's the reason the Vice President decided to join his wife instead of sending her? She was going to go solo to the dog sled race, and now he's going on Friday.
Who's going into the
Vice President? Like Usha was going to go to Greenland on her own.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think you may have JD going, actually. Yeah. I don't know if they've split that up, but Usha's great. But I understand JD might be going. So.
In other words, he's not going to learn, because the number one rule of Trumpism is that once you plant your flag, in this case, literally, you don't back down. Trump views any capitulation as a show of weakness, even though in reality, it would be a rare sign of strength for him to have some introspection and change course if something's not working out. But Donald Trump is a weak man's idea of a strong man. And so as a result, this is the wannabe autocrat shit that he engages in. And so I have two messages here. First, for the people of Greenland, and similarly the people of Panama and Canada, and any other foreign country that Trump decides he wants to put his stubby fingers on, we are not our government. The majority of this country in the United States hates this guy more than you hate him right now, which I can imagine is quite a bit. And so while I'm sure that this colors your view of the United States, know that we need all the allies we can get, from within our country and without, to fight back against the plague of Trumpism that has consumed our government. And finally, to any Republicans or independents or just general Trump voters out there, take a moment to remember what Donald Trump promised you during the campaign, that he would lower costs on day one, that he understood your pain, that he heard you that housing was too high, rent was too high, groceries were too high, that while the Democrats were out of touch, too focused on edge case issues like gender reassignment surgeries among trans prison inmates, he and his party got you. Well, it's been months and costs have only gone up. Groceries are more expensive. The trade war has spiked the cost of lumber and building materials, which means housing is more expensive. Food imports from Mexico and Canada are more expensive. Eggs are more expensive. And despite all of that, what is Trump doing? He is trying to annex the sovereign territory of our friends and allies. This guy does not care about you. He's not trying to make your life better. He is fucking around out there, causing problems that didn't need to be caused, trying to build up his legacy and feed his ego, and you are footing the bill for it. You have been sold a bill of goods. We don't have to relitigate your vote from November of 2024, but do not reward these people with your future support if they were so quick to abuse it the first time. Before you go, first, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we're now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they're willing to cater to this White House. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a great way for me to be able to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's completely free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support my work. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.